Hello and welcome to the Butterflies, Bees, and Insects Please Hop. Now, how fun is that name? Today we are sharing some inspiration using insects. No, not real ones, but in our craft projects. For my project today, I'm focusing on butterflies, and I'm using some new products and some old products that I've got in my stash. The new products that I'm using are from Artistry. I'm going to be using some Artistry markers and some keychains, so I'm going to actually be making a sublimated keychain using butterflies. I went through all of my butterfly stamps and such, and I came across this stamp set I've never actually used. It's from Papercraft Inspirations magazine number 181 from July 2018. Yes, I've had this in my stash for that long and have never actually used it. So I'm using all of these real cute little butterfly images and basically just going to be stamping those out on some regular copy paper, believe it or not. So I've already drawn a line around the space that I need to use using the actual keychain as a template, and now I'm going to stamp some of those little butterflies down. Now, we know we can use regular markers on our stamps to get a different kind of a look, so I thought, what if I use these markers to do my stamping? That way I could get all the color down instead of just, stamping out the outline or whatever in black and then coloring. So I'm grabbing out a lot of these little markers and just using them to color up all of these butterflies in the background, all of that good stuff to create my design on the copy paper. Now, I'm very new to using Artistry markers, so whenever I'm coloring something down, I have this thought in my mind. It's like, this is not going to look good. These just look so drab. So I keep on adding more and more ink to this image because, I keep thinking it's going to need more. So I'm still adding more ink and everything down on here. I decided to add a yellow background, so I picked this soft yellow and I'm starting off with that. But you know what? It still is looking a bit drab. So I wind up grabbing another one and going in with a richer yellow color. And I'm happier with this. I'm also not real familiar with the markers yet to know how much ink to put down because I don't want it to look, streaky. So it comes together, but it does take a bit of practice and playing. So I'm going to be playing with these quite a bit, I believe. Now, I was having so much fun coloring these little guys up that I completely forgot that this is supposed to be at an angle. This is supposed to be a diamond shape, not a square shape. So that means that the hole is going to be where one of the butterflies is up in the corner. But, that's okay. I went in and decided to add some more of that darker yellow just because I was afraid the other part was going to look streaky. So I'm adding in probably way more ink than I actually need, and then I'm just keep on going with adding some more butterflies. So this time I decided I wanted to sublimate both sides of the keychain. Last time around I wasn't sure if I was able to just because I hadn't done it before, but I found out yes, you can. Since this one is a plastic keychain, it's already been treated on both sides, so you can use either side to create your image. So what I did is I used that keychain as a template, drew out my diamond shape, and now I'm writing on the back of it, handmade by Debbie J. and 2021. And then I'm going to flip it over so that I can get the reverse image. Now, I'm not good at tracing, but I'm giving it a shot, and I'm using my little light pad on there too. It came out, I think in the end it comes out okay, but I need more practice with doing the tracing. Now it's time to apply it to my keychain. So I'm going to put the image of all those butterflies against the the keychain itself, and I'm going to tape it down with some of the heat resistant tape that I've got from Artistry. Also using a protective mat and some of the protective paper. Now the sandwich for heating everything up, and I'm going to use my Cricut Easy Press for that, is 2 layers of the protective paper, one on top and one on bottom, and then you've got your keychain with the image taped onto it with the image on top. So it's basically facing down towards the keychain itself. And then it has the protective mat, the protective paper on top and bottom. I've got more details in a blog post, and I'll put it in the blog post that goes along with this video as well. And then I'm going to be heating this up for 60 seconds. That's what the instructions from Artistry say. Because this is the plastic keychain, you do heat it up for 60 seconds. So I flipped it over because I wanted to see if it had gone through, and then I noticed on the back that there is a transfer image from the ink that I used on my last project. Now I know, and I did not realize this was a big oops on my part. I did not realize that that ink from the last project was going to transfer over like that. Okay, moving on. So I let it cool down, and then here is the reveal, and this is absolutely gorgeous. Now, in my opinion, I'm thinking I probably used a little too much ink on this. I mean, look at how vibrant and lovely those colors are. Well, at this point, I'm deciding I'm still going to try doing the back and hopefully cover up some of that excess transfer that I didn't want to happen. So I'm taking a new piece of that protective paper so I don't accidentally mess up and transfer it somewhere that I don't want it. I'm just going to cut a piece that is big enough for me to fold in half and put over my image and over my keychain. So just like last time, I'm going to use some of that heat-resistant tape and tape my image to the back, the back of the keychain this time. I go ahead and trim off all that excess paper, and then I'm layering it down on I'm creating my sandwich. We've got the protective mat, we've got 1 layer of the protective paper, we've got the image and keychain with the image on the top facing down, and then we've got our 2nd layer of protective paper, and now I'm going to heat this for 60 seconds. And after removing the heat, I do need to let it cool down a bit before removing the image and seeing how the transfer did, because it is a bit hot. Now for the second reveal. Now I think this looks pretty good. My writing on there where I traced my words is a little bit shaky, and I can still see some of that extra transferred image, but overall I am happy with this keychain. Just make sure that you remember my mistakes so you don't do the same thing when you attempt doing something like this. But I think it's really cool. We can use our regular stamps and be able to create some amazing projects using some sublimation ink. It's just too cool. Thank you so much for joining me for this hop. The next person in the lineup is down in the description box, and I hope you'll take time to watch all of the videos because I know there are going to be some awesome inspirational projects for you to see. Here is another video that you may be interested in. Thank you so much for dropping by, and remember, if I can make it, I mean, come on, if I can make it, you can too.